Sup everyone, this is Draco Evolve back yet again with another Manchester United transfer video. As always guys, a bit of a disclaimer before I start. These are all transfer speculation unless direct quotes or sources confirm the deal. So these are all speculation. And you might have wondered, why am I uploading again today? Well, technically tomorrow now, because on Monday I've uploaded a transfer video. So do go and check it out. But I'm planning to do, as reports coming, especially towards the midnight of every day, new reports, new newspapers refreshes, and we see a influx of new transfer videos. And I'm trying to kind of get ahead of the game and bring you guys the latest transfer speculation, gossip, whatever you want to call it, right off the bat, straight up, so you guys sitting down can kind of enjoy all the latest content. So that's the reason why, and I'll be planning to do that again throughout the rest of the next few weeks. If there is a breaking transfer coming up, then I will be updating it on the day itself. But as of right now, I'll be doing similar stories like this. I thought maybe we need a lot of footballers. Certainly I do need a football news, football transfer and speculation, all this stuff, all this good stuff, anything to do with football right off the bat quickly. And I thought, why not just start off with that? Obviously, throughout a few days, I'll be covering all the news, what Oli has been saying, etc., etc. But this is a special Manchester United transfer news and speculation video today, now, whatever you want to call it. We got a couple of things to cover, and as you can see, you can jump from section to section. There should be coming something at the bottom showing you the timeline of what I'm going to discuss across the video. Again, these are supposed to be quick videos, so it should be good, snappy, quick. But first up, we have Manchester Evening News reporting Joe Hugill from Sunderland. So apparently, I have talked about this earlier in my today's transfer video, but things are hotting up. I'll read you out what they have to say. Manchester United are close to finalising a deal for Sunderland youngster Joe Hugill, I don't know how to pronounce it. United have been working on a £300,000 move for Hugill, 16, in recent months, and fought off competition from Tottenham, Arsenal, Wolves and Leeds. German clubs also expressed interest in Hugill, although he did not receive an offer from any Bundesliga clubs. Hugill does not turn 17 until October and could be named amongst United's academy intake for the 2021 season. The striker scored a hat-trick for Sunderland in the FA Youth Cup, and Hugill netted a brace on his under-23s debut. United were interested in signing Sam Greenwood from Sunderland last year, but England under-18 international joined Arsenal. Former academy head Nicky Butt oversaw an aggressive recruitment drive following his appointment in February 2016. Tai Chong, Charlie McCann, France Youth International Aliou Traore, Spaniard Arno Pugmal, Lagi Ramazani and Harvey Neville were some of the high-profile arrivals on Nicky Butt's watch. So there you go. There is a huge impetus on United driving in the youth. And I think that's a lot to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and what Mourinho has kind of worked on at the same time. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems to be pushing it a lot. And I've not heard of Joe Hugill, but if half of the Premier League, especially the likes of Arsenal, and I've heard Liverpool are after him amongst German clubs as well, he must be a good signing. And he scored a hat-trick in the FA Youth Club. He's still young, and you got prospects in the youth team already, in our youth team, who look to be great prospects in the future, and adding to that will not even hurt. And if £300,000 works out, then it's a steal and a bargain. And Sunderland, I've been reading reports that Sunderland have expressed a delight in Joe Hugill, as in he is one of the star players in the youth academy and one of the star players that's coming through the youth academy. And he's also fits Ollie's vision and profile, what he's always been talking about, which is young and obviously British is a key thing. Although he did not specifically mention British, but judging by his signings, Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire, 3 of the 4 signings he's made so far, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has been British players, and he's always hinted at that. So let me know, guys, your thoughts in the comments below. Who is Joe Hugill? He seems like a good fella. He seems like a good player as well, if a lot of clubs are interested in him. Now, before we move on to the next segment, as always, guys, I do say that do get involved in the comments on all my videos, and I do pick them up, the comments. So today's videos comments will be picked up tomorrow and I'll discuss it, anything that's relevant. But the previous transfer video, I do start off with them early, but I thought let me just start off with the title, which is Sunderland youngster Joe Hugill. But I've uploaded a video earlier. The crappy gamer, I'm sure he's not a crappy gamer, but he's always supporting me, who's fantastic. I haven't had a chance to reply to you, buddy, but he says I do, and that's in the earlier video when I express whether whether you guys will take Danny van der Beek over Pogba. He does say, I do think Paul Pogba leaving is the best, and will even replace him with Joey Barton. Don't get me wrong, Pogba is a good player, but it depends on his mood and how much he likes the manager. I think he's one of the behind a lot of defeats because he don't act like manager. He drags other players' morale down too. Tried my best to make out some of the bits and bobs, but personally for me, I would love to see Paul Pogba paired up with Bruno Fernandes if the season gets resumed. However, I'll also agree that maybe it's time for him to go, especially he's kicking up a bit of a fuss. Look, his agent has said a lot of things, but Paul Pogba never came out and denied it, which puts everything into suspect. And I do agree with you that he does tend to have a bit of a fit. Sometimes a lot of the times he does drag the team down with his antics off the field, the comments being made. It's a bit of a morale shattering, but when he's on his song, he's one of the best central midfielders in the world. It's just that he's been off song more than on song, if you know what I mean. In terms of Joey Barton comment, I'm sure that's just a tongue-in-cheek. I'm not gonna take that seriously, but thank you so much for the comment, buddy, and I really appreciate you getting involved. So next up we have Jaden Sancho. So here we go again. Manchester United have been constantly linked with Jaden Sancho over the past few months. Will he end up moving to Old Trafford? Only time will tell. So Paul Ince has come out and said that one player that Manchester United and Ed Woodward will probably change their thinking on is Jaden Sancho. He's worth breaking the bank for. He's still young, only 20, yet to be established. He's obviously incredibly talented, and although the club will be entering a bidding war if they want to buy him, if they have the chance, they will be stupid not to. So obviously Paul Ince has come out and said a few things over the last couple of days, I can say, especially the comments around Solskjaer is not developing youth players, etc, etc. But he has come out and said and kind of pushed Manchester United and Ed Woodward that signing Jaden Sancho will be a huge step in the right direction, and I totally agree with that. I think he's young, as he said, he's 20, he's still nowhere near his peak, and he's got incredible numbers. He's got real hunger and desire, and I think we should break the bank a little bit for Jaden Sancho. He can play on the right, he can equally play on the left, but right side is his preferred potential. But that's what I think his meaning, and I would love to take Jaden Sancho. Number 7 is made for him. You know, you can see number 7 on his England top, but United number 7 has been missing for a long time. But that's what Paul Ince had to say about Jaden Sancho. Moving on to the last few bits, last bit of news that's coming out today is Wilfred Ndidi. So apparently reports are coming in that PSG have entered the race to sign Wilfred Ndidi. So I'm just going to read out what this article had to say. French champions PSG have joined Manchester United in the race to sign Leicester midfielder Wilfred Ndidi, according to reports. The Foxes' defensive midfielder is expected to be hot property this summer after another good season in the Premier League, playing in Brendan Rodgers' side. It is not the first time that United have been linked to the Nigerian, who is one of, if not the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. The 23-year-old will have spent 2.5 seasons at Leicester when this season, which has been affected by the pandemic, eventually comes to an end. So I'm just going to go through his stats a little bit. 23 years of age. He's a specialist defensive midfielder. He's pretty much played in all of Leicester City's game, and I agree he's one of the best defensive midfielder in the game. Look, we need a specialist defensive midfielder. When I say specialist, I mean someone who is built to be a defensive midfielder. We got players such as McTominay who can do a job in the defensive midfield position. Fred can as well. Pogba, we've seen him in there, but they're not specialist ball-winning defensive midfielders. They are just ball deep line playmakers, or whatever you want to call them. But in Wilfred Ndidi, he is a specialist CDM. He will sit there, he'll win his tackles, play simple passes to more creative players in the midfield who can go in and do damage up front. That's what we need. And to play a 4-3-3 formation, which seems to be a lot in Ollie's favour at the moment, having a CDM who sits there and allows the likes of probably Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes to go forward will be devastating. Having a CDM who's also mobile is going to be absolutely devastating. And Wilfred Ndidi for me is absolutely that player. Look, he's Premier League proven. He's young. He's one of the best CDMs in the league for sure. He's got bags of experience. He can still improve. And that's something I think we should also break the bank for. Look, we need another midfielder. We all know that. We got Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Fred, McTominay and Matic on and off coming in, but Matic is his legs are going. That's pretty much all the central midfield options we have. Outside of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, the rest of them are good, but to challenge for the Premier League, you need to be someone who has a third midfielder who is an absolute monster. You look at Liverpool's Fabinho, you look at Man City's Fernandinho. Both are excellent at their jobs, and that's what Manchester United is missing in the midfield. I think going forward in the midfield, we're fantastic. Cannot wait to see Bruno Fernandes and Pogba in the same team, that is. But also having that person to shield that defense pairing and be able to give confidence to the central midfielders to go up and do damage is essential in a championship winning side. And Wilfred Ndidi, if rumours are true, will be a fantastic signing in my opinion. Obviously PSG have entered the race as well, but let's see what happens. I think he's going to command a huge fee, but as always, everyone has their price. If we have to sign a central midfielder, I suggest we sign a central defensive midfielder, a specialist DM and a right winger. And I think we're not far off having a squad that is a good on paper. The first 11 that is very good. Imagine having a midfield trio of Ndidi, Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes, backed up by Fred and McTominay. That screams quality and in depth as well in central midfield areas, and all of them. Fred has been amazing last few months before the obviously pandemic. McTominay is always a workhorse. He's always giving 100%. These are players can come in and easily plug gaps through injury, rotation, whatever you want to call it, cup competitions. To have someone like Ndidi, who is a specialist CDM, someone that of his caliber or of his stature or role that we do not currently have at the club, will be fantastic. Yes, you can come out and say Matic is a CDM, but Matic is not mobile enough. His legs are giving way. And I think over the next few seasons, over the next 1 year, we're going to see Matic in decline. And Matic has been in decline for a very long time. Yes, he's probably earned his contract, and that's probably what they are. He was probably playing for the contract, and he's earned his contract. It's going to be interesting to see if he performs week in, week out, which I highly doubt. Especially, I want to say in terms of maybe not mental wise, he's probably wants to do well. No player wants to go onto the field and perform badly, deliberately. But I think in terms of technical side, I think his stamina and everything, he won't have the legs to play 2 games or maybe 3 games a week anymore. So there needs to be a bit of rotation. But anyway, guys, these are all the latest Manchester United transfer news. Now, it is a bit of a different timing video where I waited till the midnight, got all the news, the latest news together and dropped it to you guys. Let me know what you guys think of it. And as always, guys, drop your comments in the link below. And as always, stay far and I'll catch you guys in the next upload.